you all for coming out to Dane Manufacturing Q Energy Systems this morning. It's great to see what a great crowd, and great to have all my friends and family around us. What a great event. So I've been asked to open up the session this morning, and we got some couple of great speakers with their families coming to speak to you and talk about the upcoming event and the upcoming year. Briefly, my comments will be brief. Dane Manufacturing has been around for 97 years this March, so coming up on our centennial real soon. And, we've got a strong, proud tradition of delivering quality products and quality parts to mostly Wisconsin companies. A lot of expansion in the last few years. Those that know me know I'm about growth and jobs, so some of the same things our governor stands for. Got a little plaque here. This is our fourth one. We're shooting for number 5, which is pretty unheard of. It's the Inc. 5000. Last year we were 2,500 in the country of 5,000 fastest growing companies in America. Okay, so that's rare air. Thank you very much. Last year we started a new company called Q Energy Systems, and some of those products are over here. It's a great alternative energy product called, geothermal heat pumps for your houses. So we're excited about that opportunity. Down to my core, I believe in some simple principles, and one of them is free enterprise. Free enterprise isn't often talked about in the news. It's certainly not taught in our schools, but it's one of the founding principles of this country. And it's what our founders and maker believe in, right? That men are free, and they should be free. Men and women are free, and they should be free to pursue their own principles, right? And their own enterprises. And so that, for all my friends and family, they know I teach that, and I talk about that all the time. So, the governor and I share that, as well as Rebecca Kleefisch, Lieutenant Governor. It's capital in the hands of the state versus capital in the hands of the individual, right? It's just a fundamental difference in what most of us believe in this room. So when I first met County Executive Walker in 2009, my friend Mike from church invited me to a meeting. I was one of 10 businessmen in Dane County, and got around the table and got to meet this guy, and he'd just written an op-ed piece in February, for those that remember, turning down American Reinvestment Act money, not because it wasn't good for the county at the time. It was one-time money. It was the follow-on liability that came from that signed up the rest of the county for, to carry on that tradition of putting out millions and millions of dollars that he didn't feel they needed to. So I said, I want to meet this guy, sure. And I came to find out we shared a lot in values, and he kind of believes in 3 common principles. And to this day, he stands true to those principles, right? As a governor, he can't create a job. Only private business can create a job, a true job. And so I said, that's true. Yeah, that's absolutely true. As a governor, all he can do is change the environment to entice private owners to create jobs. And that's what employs most Americans, right? So I don't know if everybody knows this, but 95% of Americans work for companies with 50 or less employees. So the whole time that I've run Dane, we've been 50 or less employees until a year ago. We're now 60 strong, on our way to 100. So those that know me, I know I walk around the halls here saying the same thing, whether I'm in the plant or I'm in the office. The greatest thing in the world is not so much where we stand as in what direction we are heading. Oliver Wendell Holmes, and it's so very true. So 4 short years ago, we were not heading in the right direction in the state of Wisconsin, and we are today, and I'm very pleased to stand here. So I'd like to introduce my friend and our Lieutenant Governor next. I got to know her quite well last year. We shared a lunch together, and everywhere I would go and travel the state, whether I was in a board meeting or I was at a manufacturing event, or I'd be at one of my friend's plants, I would turn around and there would be Lieutenant Governor Rebecca Kleefisch. And I said, well, great to see you again. And so she is a huge champion, of two things I believe in, right? Small business and manufacturing. She loves manufacturing, travels the state, champions for it all the time, speaks to the root cause of a lot of the things that we need in this state, worker training, providing well-paying jobs, and she gets it. She's become a friend. So please put your hands together and give a very warm welcome for our Lieutenant Governor Kleefisch. And she's got her lovely family with her this morning, Joel and her kids. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you too.
Good to see you. Thanks.
How's everybody doing? Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us here at Dane Manufacturing today. Will you join me in thanking Troy Berg and all of the employees here for opening their doors? I want to introduce you to my family. My husband Joel is here, and my oldest daughter Ella and my youngest daughter Violet. They're all with me this morning because today is a very special day. It's a special day for us, and it's a special day for Wisconsin. Because when I think about what was going on this time about 4 years ago, a lot of things have changed, haven't they, friends? 4 years ago, Joel and I were like any other family, any other parents in Wisconsin. We would do anything to protect our kids. And 4 years ago, we were watching bad politicians take Wisconsin in the wrong direction. And so I decided that I would declare my candidacy for Lieutenant Governor of Wisconsin. 4 years ago, I sat down and I did exactly that, live streaming my announcement from my home computer at my kitchen table. 4 years later, I still have that same kitchen table. I still have that same computer. But Wisconsin is headed in a brand new direction, and doesn't it feel good to be back on the path to prosperity? I wanted to be part of a team of innovators that would put Wisconsin on a path forward. And that's exactly what we have seen happen. Friends, today is tax day. Now, I didn't expect applause for that. But the good news I have to share with you today is that tax day this year is unlike any other year in the past, because this year you have more relief to look forward to. You're keeping more of your own money because Governor Scott Walker is at the helm in Wisconsin. This April, things are different. This April, we've made some changes to withholding, the amount of money government sweeps off the top of your paycheck. This April, you are going to start to keep $57.90 for the average Wisconsin family back in your paycheck, your own money that you can count on, that you can start budgeting for. That's $58 a month from April through December. That's a significant chunk of change, guys. You couple that with the fact that the average Wisconsin family is going to be seeing about $58 in income tax relief, and then the family with the median value home, about $150,000, is going to be seeing $101 in property tax relief. You add it all up, that normal Wisconsin family is going to be seeing about $681 of their own money. You can start budgeting for it this year. Doesn't it feel good to keep your own money? That's $681, guys. That $681 can buy you 189 gallons of gasoline. That $681 can buy you 342 packages of butter at the Quick Trip butter sale, but the limit is 5. So you have to drive around for that one. $681 can buy you a family vacation in the Wisconsin Dells. But the point is, that's your $681. And you get to determine what you do with it, not government. You are finally back in charge. And Governor Scott Walker has assured that Wisconsin is on the path forward, led by you. the voters, the hardworking families, the people who lift up this state and make it the jewel of America's heartland, our state, Wisconsin. Thank you so much for being here for this special day. Thank you for what you have done, and thank you for what we know you are about to do. God bless you. And this year, and for many years to come, may God always bless the great state of Wisconsin.
Good morning. Over the past 4 years, our family has been through a lot. We couldn't have been through it without our faith and our family and our friends and all the supporters here today. And we just want to thank you for that. We want to thank you especially for all your prayers. We know that you've been with us and you've stood with us all the way, and we can't thank you enough. I'm so proud of the work that Scott does. It kind of chokes me up a little bit because he's such a hard worker for the state of Wisconsin, and I think you all know that. So at this time, I'd like to introduce an amazing father, a wonderful husband, and our governor, Scott Walker.
Well, thanks to Tonette, and we've got our sons Alex and Matt here. My brother David is here. My sister-in-law Maria are here as well, and we're pleased to be joined with all of the Walker family and the Clayfish family. Thank you all for coming out here today at Dane Manufacturing. It's good to be back, and we appreciate having you all here with us. You know, today Rebecca and I are announcing our campaign for governor, lieutenant governor across the state, and we're kicking it off right here, the first stop at Dane Manufacturing. So thank you for coming out and joining us here today. We appreciate it. On behalf of Rebecca and I, we want to thank you for your support because so many of you here helped us out in 2010 and again in 2012, and now you're helping us out here in 2014. And we appreciate the support. More importantly, as Tonette mentioned, we appreciate your prayers throughout this process and going forward. It's really been an exciting ride, but think about it for a moment. Remember how things were 4 years ago here in the state of Wisconsin? Things have gotten pretty bad. I mean, think about it. 4 years ago at this point, we had more than 130,000 jobs that were being lost during Jim Doyle's last term in office. The budget deficit, what was over $3 billion. And taxes, well, think about it on a day like today, taxes were going up. The future of Wisconsin was looking pretty dark at that point. Now, thankfully, things have all changed since then. Wisconsin is turning around. In fact, think about it. The budget deficit, well, that deficit is now a surplus of nearly $1 billion. And taxes are going down. How about that on a day like today? Taxes are going down. We wanted to make sure that you, the hardworking taxpayers of Wisconsin, would see real relief. And so over the last 3 years, we've reduced your tax burden by more than $2 billion. How about that? Now, that's pretty important on a day like today, on a day like April 15th. Because, you know, when I travel this state, I got to tell you, if I get outside of the Capitol, I don't hear people say to me, hey, Scott, I don't think I sent enough of my money to Madison. I just don't hear that. I don't hear people say that my taxes are too low or even that my taxes are just about right. What I hear from one end of the state to the other, from one end of the state to the other, over and over and over and over again, is people telling me if you want to continue the economic recovery that got us to this surplus in the first place, the best thing you can do is put that money back in the hands of the people who earned it, the hardworking taxpayers of Wisconsin, and that's exactly what we're doing. You see, we understand that as hardworking taxpayers, as consumers and employers, you're going to put that money right back to work. One of the great things we've done, and thinking about it not just today on Income Tax Day, but thinking ahead to December, this December, with that in mind, your property taxes for a typical home in the state are actually going to go down. In fact, they're not only going to be lower in December of 2014 than they were last year, they're going to be lower this December than they were in December of 2010. How about that? I said that's great news for working families, for senior citizens, for farmers and small business owners all across the state. But best of all, the greatest news out there that we have to share today is that more people are working in Wisconsin. Over 100,000 new jobs have been created since we've taken office. That's the most exciting news of the day. In fact, last year alone, we saw the largest private sector job growth we've seen since, well, the 1990s. But you know what? We're definitely not done yet. That's why Rebecca and I are running again, because we know there's more work to be done, and with your help, we're going to do it. You know, Wisconsin really is moving forward, and when I think about it, it's an important time, because I think about our sons and a lot of other sons and daughters like them across the state. We've got many young men, and young women across the state who are going to college. And thanks to our first 2 and now 4-year tuition freeze, more students and more working families can afford to send their sons and daughters to get a great education at one of our many UW campuses all across the state. How about that? You know, and families are planning vacations again. Tourism spending is up, and more families are going to sleep at night knowing that they have access to health care. Some of you may not know this, but for the first time in our state's history, everyone living in poverty, for the first time ever in our state's history, everyone living in poverty will be covered with health care under Medicaid because of this administration, our goals going forward. On top of all of that, we've got an unemployment rate here in Wisconsin that's well below the national average and more than 3 points lower than it was in 2010. Things are heading in the right direction. We've made major investments in worker training. When I think about it, over the last year alone, we've invested more than $100 million into the education needed to prepare people for the positions that are open and in demand today. Now, that's really important, because we want to make sure that everyone who wants a job can find a job. That's really what the future is all about. Now, our vision going ahead in the next term is pretty simple. We want to reduce the demand, we want to reduce the dependency on government, and increase the dependency on hard work and personal pride. Isn't that what it's all about? Hard work and pride. You see, as I think about where we've been and where we're headed, it's a remarkable turnaround. And it's one of those things where, you know, our vision is really simple. By moving people more towards a focus on hard work and pride, we're changing things. That's real progress. Now, over the last few years, we had to make some tough decisions, right? But the good news is they paid off. They paid off, and today, because of the positive results of those tough decisions of the last few years, Wisconsin is that much better because of it, and we're going to be even better going forward. I see it as I travel the state each week. In fact, today is going to be one of those typical days like the days leading up till now and the days between now and November 4th. From here, we're going off to La Crosse and up to Chippewa Falls and over to Schofield and to Green Bay, and tonight we'll be in West Allis. We're traveling the state, and as I travel the state each week, not just for the campaign, but in the days since the last election, I go to factories and farms and small businesses. I go to hospitals and clinics and schools, and what I see and introduced to are some amazing people who are doing some incredible jobs in this state. And what I see is that things are getting better in Wisconsin. Now, that's important, because 4 years ago, when we got into the race for governor, the reason we did it was simple. You see, Tonette and I were looking at where the state was headed, and we were very concerned that the future for our sons, Matt and Alex, would not be as great as the one that we had growing up here in this state. Today, I'm proud to tell you, 4 years later, that because of the success of our positive reforms, the future is looking really quite bright. We're excited about the future. And so today I officially ask for your vote. I ask for your vote again so that not just my sons, but every son and daughter, every grandson and granddaughter in this state can grow up in a Wisconsin that's even greater than the one that we grew up in. You know, the great news is with your help, we can do it. Wisconsin's back. Wisconsin is on the right track again. With your help, we can continue to move this state forward. With your help, we can make Wisconsin even greater than it was before. With your help, we're going to ultimately go forward with a great success. And because of that, Wisconsin's back on. Thank you so much for coming out here today. We look forward to your support. God bless you, and God bless the great state of Wisconsin.